From Dr. Wu, it is Slaughter and Brutality. Yes, whenever I say brutally, or brutality, I have to say it like Dinobot. Brutality! But we know these guys as Slugfest and Overkill, or Overkill and Slugfest, depending on which way you want to look at it. And I do want to thank the KK Bburago car model toy store for providing this at no cost so I could review it for you. And I've always loved Soundwave's tapes. I'm sure you have too. And this guy, well, these guys, they look like they're a lot of fun. So if you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle. Welcome aboard. If you've been watching for a while, thanks so much for coming back. That is awesome. And we're going to get into some micro cassettes, Dr. Wu style. Be right back. All right, so let's slice these babies open. And as you can see on the box, very nice artwork of, well, Slaughter. Good thing he's not a sergeant, or else he'd have a problem with G.I. Joe and the World Wrestling Federation. And Brutality! I'll try not to say it that way. But you can also see them on the back in their dino modes. But when we open them up, I have a feeling they're not gonna be in their dino modes. They're gonna be in their cassette modes. And boy, am I right. See, there they are in their cassette modes. Very nice. But they do come with these wonderful cards that say Slaughter right there and Brutality. For Brutality and Slaughter. Again, depends on which way you're looking at them. But very cool. And they do come with weapons that are very reminiscent of the G1 weapons. But let's slide this out, pop them out. And since they're in cassette mode, we will look at them in cassette mode first. Now, one thing I will say is a lot of this does not harken to the days of cassettes. I mean, there are actually round things in the center there that are reminiscent of the reel-to-reels, because you see a cassette was actually a reel-to-reel magnetic tape thing that you can play music on. But other than that, there's not really any like sticker that says, hey, this is a cassette. And I have to say that Slaughter here has even less of an actual look of being a cassette. But he is of a size that will fit into the latest versions, the Siege and the Legacy Soundwaves. I do not know about the Studio Series. We'll have to wait and see when that comes out. But there's not too much we can do in cassette form, but it does kind of look, he's got this black thing here. Almost reminds me of a rub sign, but it's not a rub sign. So let's first unpack the weapons. And you can see that Brutality's weapons are, again, very reminiscent of the originals, as are Slaughter's. Those Slaughters only had like a cover on one side, so sit on both sides, so you can pretty much put them on either side that you want, whereas there was a specific way that you had to put them on in the old days, in the days of G1. So we're gonna put this box aside, and I'm gonna take a glance at the instructions, which, interestingly enough, show how to transform them from dyno modes into cassette modes. Not the other way around, but should be easy enough to figure out. Let's start with Brutality. We'll come back to you, Slaughter, aka Overkill, and of course this is aka Slugfest. So transforming him, don't even really need to look at the instructions. You flip out the head, you flip out the tail, and there's these little things inside the circles that allow you to pull up, it looks like, if you have thin nails, the Stegosaurus parts, the spines on the back. Takes a little bit to get them out, but there they are. Now the legs are actually hidden cleverly inside. So you flip up these panels and you can pull out the legs, which flip out to either side, which I think is a clever way of doing it. Close these back up and then just position the legs as they should be with their feet like so. So that is Brutality. I'm trying, guys, I'm trying. Now his weapons, looking at them, have little notches that go into the slots that have been left open by pushing up the Stegosaurus pieces, which is a clever use of those slots. And there you have Slugfest, aka Brutality. Now, he's not very posable. The legs, though, are actually pretty posable. You can move them in various directions, but you're not going to move them out of this position a lot if you want them to stand. The head does turn all the way around, oddly enough, but you can tilt it to one side or the other, and you can lift up the head, so he's looking up, maybe at Slaughter or Overkill. But yeah, a very clever cassette bot, and the only one of the two that actually has some resemblance to an actual cassette. All right, time for Slaughter. So again, doesn't look much like a cassette, but let's see what we can accomplish looking at reverse instructions. So his tail is made up of these two pieces that kind of fold out, and then line up the pegs and snap them together. Nice. You fold down these sides to form the main body of our dino cassette. Not the Autobot dino cassettes. This is definitely Decepticon. Bring out his head, which can lift up. Looks like this piece actually flips up here to kind of be a gap filler, I guess. And his forelegs move out like that. So there you have him. Now the weapons. Well, it's pretty easy to see where to put them on because there's these two posts on the side, though they are small, and you can actually set them up just like that. Pin on the turntable of doom. Now he's actually got a bit of posability because the legs can extend quite a bit, or you can bend them so that he's crouching. So crouching dino. Hello, Sky. Do you like dinos? Do you want to say hi to the dino? So yes, the legs stretch. The forelegs, you can kind of bend them back or whip them claws out. You can open up his jaw, can move his head pretty widely. You can also move his head up so that he's more charging, you know, kind of like a cell phone, right? His tail can move from side to side, and just like so. And of course, Sky really appreciates microcassettes, don't you? Oh, my mistake. You actually have to turn the tail, not turn tail, because that's like running away. Turn the tail so it goes more smoothly down, but still goes from side to side, and you can turn the tail. So that's like articulation that you didn't even realize you needed. I didn't. Now these guys, maybe about 2 inches tall on Overkill / Slaughter, maybe 1.25 inches, slightly more on Slugfest. And of course, they're similarly sized in cassette mode, being about 1 3/4 inches by about 1 inch. So great homages to the original US dinosaur cassettes. And I think they're very fun. And again, thanks to the KK Bburago Car Model Toy Store for sending these to me. They're very cool toys, will fit well in my collection, and I think they would fit well in yours. Links, of course, in the description so you can get these guys. And they are so much fun. And if you're having fun, by all means, feel free to subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. And while you are mulling over these two rather interesting Decepticon dinosaurs, well, we have some third-party Autobot dinosaurs right over here you can check out. And we will see you next time. As always, have fun, pet your cat, and good hunting.